evening. I'm Amanda Lasorsa with NBC News. Tonight I have the opportunity to talk with Francisco Pizarro's ghost. Hi Pizarro, thank you for meeting with me. I know you have a lot on your plate, but could you tell me what your childhood was like? Thanks for having me here, Amanda. I was born in 1475 into a very poor family. Because I never learned to read or write, I was a swine handler. That's a person who trains pigs to entertain other people. After the New World was discovered, though, I went to Hispaniola with a relative. Oh, okay. Well, what did you do there? While in Hispaniola, I became friends with Vasco Núñez de Balboa. Because I was his friend, he offered me the position of chief lieutenant on his next expedition. Wow, you must have been really proud. I was very proud. I then spent the next few years sailing along the coast of South America. After Balboa and I made a small fortune from this expedition, we settled in Panama City. So what did you do while in Panama City? Well, we settled there because we heard rumors of a wealthy land farther south. While we were planning to go there, Balboa was killed by a man he had past experiences with. Did you ever leave Panama City? Eventually I did. I stayed to finish the plans for the expedition Balboa and I were going to go on. While there by myself, I met Diego de Almagro. We finished the plans for the expedition and started gathering men and the supplies we needed. So tell me, how many expeditions did you end up going on? I had 3 expeditions. The first was in 1524 when Almagro and I left Panama City and sailed to northern Colombia. And where did the second one go? Our second expedition was in 1526. We went south with 2 ships to Peru. When we landed on the coast, we found an empire rich in gold and silver. We realized this was the place we were looking for, the Inca Empire. So what did you do when you found it? I stayed there with some sick men, but sent Almagro back to Panama with gold and silver trinkets, llamas, alpacas, and other things to convince the governor we should have a third expedition to explore more into the Inca Empire. And did the governor say yes? He said no. In fact, in 1528, he sent 2 ships south to make me return to Panama, but I refused. Instead, Almagro came with a ship to get me, and we went to Spain to get permission for the expedition. Well, did the king give you permission? Yes, the king gave us permission, not only to explore, but to conquer. So Almagro and I returned from Spain with more men, including my 4 half-brothers. And what did you do after you had enough men? We went to Peru with 2 ships. Once we got there, I realized we arrived at the perfect time. A smallpox epidemic had gone through the Incan Empire. There was also a war going on to figure out who the new ruler would be. Instead of attacking then, we went to the Andes Mountains to wait till the war was over. How long did you have to wait? We waited 2 years for the war to end. In 1532, I planned a surprise attack to capture Atahualpa, the new ruler. I had 180 men with swords, horses, and a few guns. That day is when I killed thousands of Incas and captured their ruler. Atahualpa promised to give me vast riches if I set him free, and after the riches were received, I had him executed anyway. Is this when you took over the empire? No, it isn't. After Atahualpa was killed, I had to get rid of the other Incan emperors, so I had them strangled. In 1535, I destroyed the Incan capital of Cusco and founded the city of Lima. I built my palace in Lima and became ruler of Peru. So did you make a lot of money from the Incas? You could say my men and I became very wealthy. My share of Atahualpa's ransom was tremendous. The share I got was 630 pounds of gold, 1,260 pounds of silver, and I got Atahualpa's throne, which was made of 15-karat gold and weighed 183 pounds. Wow, that sounds like it's worth a lot. It was. I got $8 million worth of gold from my share of the ransom. This didn't include any of the silver that I received. Okay, so you conquered the Incas and you got all the gold. What happens next? Well, in 1537, Almagro returned from an expedition to Chile that I sent him on. After he came back, civil war broke out between us because he felt cheated from his share of the wealth and power. While I killed Almagro near Cusco in 1538, the war remained between his son and I. So what happened to you? Well, Almagro's followers wanted to gain revenge, so, in the middle of the night on June 26, 1541, They assassinated me in my palace. Thank you for telling me your story, Pizarro. It's sad that you wiped out an entire civilization, but congratulations on getting your gold. Thanks for listening. I enjoyed telling you about my conquest. And that concludes my interview with Francisco Pizarro's ghost. He may not have been the nicest man, but he sure was determined. For NBC News, I'm Amanda La Sorsa, and good night.